In addition to knowing the thoughts of all mankind, to accomplish the work of the atonement, Jesus Christ had to also take upon himself all of the feelings and emotions of mankind. This would include the perpetrators of sin and the victims of those sins. This ability is called empathy. Empathy, from the psychic perspective, is more than the sharing of another person's experiences and emotions. Empathy is the ability to vicariously experience the feelings and experiences of others. As all things sigh, empathy is not time-dependent. The vicarious experience of the feelings of others is not due to any recognized form of communication. As we've documented in an earlier video, John experienced presentiment, sensing the rage and frustration of mankind during the calamities of the apocalypse. John felt their deep despair to the point of contemplating suicide in the hearts of some men. Nephi also displayed the same presentiment, sensing the anger in the hearts of men in the latter days, as well as the indifference and apathy of the members of the modern church. The transfer of feelings and emotions from one person to another person through extrasensory means have been demonstrated in scientific experiments. Proximity is not necessary for the transfer of these emotions. One study measured the visceral sensations of a receiver by an electrogastrogram or EGG in response to the emotions of a distant person, the sender. The results were significant, supporting the reality of the transfer of emotions from one person to another at a distance and without normal means of communication. Decades of research have confirmed that presentiment is a real phenomenon. Time and space do not limit the sensing of emotions.
In recent decades, the focus of precognition research has shifted to the unconscious. One approach looks at unconscious changes in people's nervous system. If precognition exists, the nervous system might react just prior to being exposed to a sudden stimulus. In these experiments, participants are presented with a series of images, some of which are highly emotional, intended to cause a dramatic psychological response. These could be graphic images of surgery or accident scenes. Contrasting these are calmer images, featuring mundane scenes like textures on furniture. The results of these experiments, which were first carried out by Dean Radin, show that physiological arousal is indeed slightly higher just before an emotional image appears on the screen. Radin terms this mysterious sensitivity to future events presentiment. In response to these surprising findings, Professor Dick Bierman at the University of Amsterdam conducted a series of experiments using a nearly identical design. Bierman's study was also remarkably successful, producing very similar results. Since then, presentiment research has continued in a number of independent labs, and the effect has been reported in a range of biological processes, including skin conductance, heart rate, brainwaves, and pupil dilation.
In summary, the ability to read thoughts and experience emotions, both necessary to accomplish the atonement, are real. That the Savior could know all mankind in its totality, individually and collectively, past, present, and future, is not a mystical or unfathomable attribute, but is objectively documentable and eventually understandable.